Hey now, how is everybody doing? Welcome to Red Alert Diaries with Tanya E. Hood. On this podcast, we have conversations that's real talk, marriage, divorce, money, and legacy. And I want you to join me on the journey. I share insights from the various hats that I've worn that have helped me develop a full range of strategies and actionable steps that I've used to help my clients make a strategic impact, both personally and professionally, to have better than what life has been giving them. I share a lot of that insight here with you in the podcast because I want this to challenge your thoughts and inspire you to grow. So together, we can operate in excellence. Today, I want to take a few moments and say thank you to all of you that have been joining me on the journey. This has been an amazing year, and I'm so glad that I had the opportunity to join it with you. I am looking forward to the next season of Red Alert Diaries with Tanya E. Hood. But today, I want to just have a quick look back over some of the discussions that we've had, the fun that we've enjoyed, and the lessons that we've learned.
Every parent I know, including me, tell their kids, I just want you to be happy. However, from a parent perspective, they're really not doing anything for their kids to be happy. And such was true for you when you were a child. Okay? So, one of the things that you can do starting today to increase your happiness is to do something for 15 minutes every day that puts a smile on your face. Doesn't matter what it is, doesn't have to be expensive, so long as it puts some kind of joy into your heart for 15 minutes.
Sometimes we think that where we are is where we'll always be. And I don't know about you, but maybe some folks in your audience have had feelings where you just feel like there's no way out. And there's always a way up and out. Reach out to that power greater than yourself. And there's always someone, I always say there's a ram in the bush. It's scriptural. There's someone who will help you. When you take that first step, I used to tell my daughter, you do your best and God will do the rest. It's the belief that it's possible. And even when you don't think that you can have all that you dream of and all that you want, just take one step. A leap of faith. It's scriptural. That faith, that mustard seed faith, will then begin to grow. It'll get rooted, and before you know it, you'll be walking into all your dreams. And you'll look back and say, oh wow, we did it, God. We did it. And it's amazing how it happens, because when you're in it, you don't even really see it, right? Because I know I didn't see it. I don't know about you, Tanya, but I remember the struggle. I remember. And you talk about building that faith muscle. Once you know that you've been through some stuff and God has got you around some stuff, when other things happen, it's just another conversation with God. Okay, here we go. Because we've been there, done that. And we've already been through some. I would say I've overcome the end of the world. I've already overcome death. So what is there left? Right? There's no fear. And that's what I tell people. What are you really afraid of?
It will wear you out. It will shrink you when you don't realize how much you feel shrunken until you're exhausted beyond belief. So guilt-free, stress-free, without that overwhelm, without feeling disempowered, empower yourself by saying, it's okay for me to take care of my feet today. It's okay for me to sit back and drink a cup of tea and relax today. It's okay for me to delegate some duties. It is okay for me to put my oxygen mask on first.
You have an inner voice inside of you. As I did, I had an inner voice inside of me that said something was not right. Something is wrong. And something there was an inkling of it. And that little small sound, that little inner voice, to pay attention to it, make that voice loud, that voice that says to you that there's something wrong. and then pay attention to it and take steps, whether it is talking to a friend or doing research, contacting you or contacting me. Contact someone that knows about this type of treatment that you've been receiving, because you may not know that it's actually narcissistic abuse. But that inner voice, listen to it, and then make a decision that you decide that you do not want to live this way, and you can choose to be happy.
When I was going through it, I was creating this course at the same time, and I didn't even realize that I was creating this course, and I was writing my book at the same time. So Figure It Out goes with the course, and it's called Mindset 101. I'm actually developing another course that's called Train the Brain, but right now I do have Mindset 101 that is out. It's a personalized course, so once you decide that you're ready to take this course with me, we're going to set up some hours, organize ourselves on how we're going to go through the modules, and it's basically just me assisting you on self-reflection, on self-discipline, and on that life work, because let's face it, we cannot do this life journey by ourselves. It's not easy. And even though I was going through it, there were a lot of trusted people that I could turn to and lean on when I was going through my rut. And so it's really important to have somebody that is going to see you when you drop down on the floor and not just turn their back on you, but offer that hand to help you up and then continue to walk with you as well when you're on that journey. And even if you're able to start running and run off by yourself, that they're always going to be there, for you in case of anything. If you need to, reach out for any other reason, or if you fall down again, they're going to be there to help you up, so it's really important. And that's what Mindset 101 is about. It's about helping others when they are ready to make that change, when they are committed to sticking to their commitments. I'm definitely going to be there to assist you.
The 5T strategy model is a practical process that I use with every client, and I don't care what they're doing. And I always like to use my practical analogies because I grew up in a neighborhood where the lady across the street, I called her the candy lady. She did peanut butter chews, she did freeze cups, she did candy apples. But she had a process, right? You have to have a process. I don't care what you do. You have to have your process in place. But and I found when it's practical, people can adapt to it better, and they find themselves, more readily available or availing themselves to participate in the process. We start out with the talking it through. That's the coaching piece. So we talk through what it is that they feel they want to do. That helps me to get them to that place of transformation before we start assigning tasks. So that's number 2. We talk through the tasks. So then I talk about how to assign those tasks, from simplistic to more advanced, to the persons that you're going to need to help you with those tasks, describing them, the whole 9 yards. Then we have to have time durations, because everything's not going to happen by osmosis. There has to be a time management tool and process in place to help you get to where you're trying to get to, right? So we talk about those durations. What durations are realistic? What your creative thinking has to do with that process. Then we move on to the tracking part. You got to keep up with what's happening. You got to follow up. I said, you have to have my cousins follow up and follow through. They have to be a part of it, because if you don't follow up and you don't follow through, then a lot of things don't happen, right? And then we go on to tracing it. So you got to trace it to make sure that all the things happen, and that you get to the point of your implementation, executing and implementation. A lot of people do work, and they do a lot of articulation, no demonstration, so therefore there's no manifestation. So this has to occur if you're going to get to implementation, because a lot of people do a lot of work and they never implement. So
there's always a bigger purpose in what we do. And so whenever I talk to clients, and I have one that she sells candles, and so I said, well, you don't just sell candles, right? You create atmospheres. Right, so we're always a part of something bigger than what we think we're doing. Giving people the opportunity to show that niceness and kindness that can go viral has a financial reward to it. So again, we're talking about re-engineering our method of thinking, right? Because now you're thinking about, okay, wait a second, how does this play into my business? Well, if you have customers in your business and you treat them with respect, you value them, you let them know that you appreciate them, then what's the reciprocity? Well, they come back. Now they increase their purchases with you. They tell other people, they go out and they're your brand evangelist. They say, oh my gosh, this person is so fabulous. You've got to have them do your services. Now they've brought you more customers that you didn't have to market to. When you think about customer service, it goes far beyond just being nice on the phone. There's a strategy behind customer service. And that's what I bring to the table for my clients. So when I work with organizations, it's about training their folks. When I work with entrepreneurs, it's about training them on utilizing customer service to create an experience that's memorable for your customers, that they will do exactly what you want them to do, because you have the ability to drive their behavior. And we can do that really simply by creating just a memorable experience, one that they walk away going, oh my gosh, that was great. Even if it's just to have spoken with Tanya on the phone and she was able to solve my issues. We had some laughter along the way. She asked me questions about myself. All the while, Tanya's putting this information into the CRM system so that the next person that speaks to me has that same type of conversation. And I don't feel like I'm just a number or nobody remembers who I am, but I feel a part of the family. This is what businesses should be doing.
I know it's hard. People have work, they have relationships, they have a household, they have children. And at that same time as bringing up children, no matter how old your children are or child is, there's also the parents on the other scale of that who are getting elderly, and there's care that needs to be taken in that direction as well. So a woman at that age is stretched in all directions. I get it. And so what happens is that Amani's saying, I ain't got time for that. But again, it's this ease is going to force you to take time for that. And if you don't, then you ain't going to be able to do all those jobs and wear all those hats. So for those who, it's finding something that will help you come back to yourself. I'll call it coming home to yourself. Your home is your heart. And if you choose an activity, whatever that activity looks like for you, you know you better than anybody else. So whether that is running, whether that is jogging, whether that's something creative, whether that's journaling, whether that's drawing, painting, whether that's just sitting iced tea on the porch, you know what you like doing. And it's just choosing something you like doing and then doing it only with yourself. I also call it going on a date with yourself. And when you are on that date with yourself, there's no other noise. So you actually can hear yourself. And for some, it's the first time, but most women, as I said, it's just world, it's not the women. We pick up our phones at that point, or we take a book to do at the same time. So we're still not really listening to ourselves. And therefore, the second step is to find a sister circle, which is why my business is called Menopause and His Sisters Club. Because when you sit in a sister circle, what a circle is, it's magic. It's a magical container that allows you to come home to yourself.
I want you to know that even though it looks like it's difficult right now, you will get through this. If you feel like you're struggling in this moment, take some time to grieve and breathe through the moment. Because I've already shared previously that you cannot circumvent the process of getting whole. Because if you decide to bury those emotions alive, they will resurrect themselves. But this gives you the chance to have a way that you can get some support. I have read so many, different books that have given me support. You can gain some insight out of one book that you may not gain out of another. If you still feel that you need to look into a direction to get whole, gather as many resources as you need. My book is available, and that's where the workbook was birthed, because people kept asking me for more of what they needed. And then this podcast was worth to give me the chance to have an expansive discussion about one or two strategies that I use on a consistent basis so that you can get some support here. If you feel that you're looking for more and you need greater support than what I'm providing, reach out to me. Let me know. So for those of you that are logical like I am, that like to analyze what's happening in your world, listen up. These are the things that I use that helped me clear up $35,000 worth of debt that was left to me in the aftermath of my divorce. This is how I got out of that 2-bedroom apartment and moved into my 3-bedroom townhome. This is also how I have been able to create a business that still sustains me almost 20 years later. Principles are eternal. Just like the principle of gravity is something that has existed long before we ever really recognized it was there. These are principles that have also existed, and many of them long before any of us recognize it's been there. When you are walking through some of the hell that you are going through right now, trust that there's something in it that will strengthen you through the process so that when you finally reach the other side, there's wisdom in your soul that will sustain you through the process. There's insight and strategies that you can share with others, like I share with you. Because a lot of the stuff that I walk through and I give insight on is stuff that I've lived, stuff that I've done, stuff that I know works because I used it. And so once again, thank you all so much for allowing me to be a part of your journey as well. In the meantime, this is Tanya E. Hood, walking in my purpose. And I want you to do the same.